Hello, everybody. It's Dani from Sincerely Spain, and today I have our guests Pat Bryne and Fernando Durango from Monta Lio, which is a new band that you should absolutely check out. And today we have them in the studio for an interview. Would you guys like to introduce yourselves and tell us a little bit about your backstories?
Hey guys.
Hola,
We're,
amigos.
yeah, we're in Sydney, Australia right now, and Fernando and I met like 5 years ago through a mutual friend, and I was studying Spanish at the time, and I'd, you know, pester him daily every time we met up. Thousands and thousands of questions about Spanish, and he was actually really patient with me, and now we have full blown conversations in Spanish, which is cool. But yeah, we got the band together like
A few months
a
ago.
few months ago, and just decided to, with all this isolation time, we just decided to knuckle down and put the song out. We kind of had the idea for the song for about 2 years,
Oh, wow.
and finally got the time to record it.
That's awesome. Okay, so
Yeah.
where were you living when you two met?
We were living in Australia. Yeah, I came here like 6 years ago, and I met Pat through a friend, and after that you went to live Spain for a few months, right?
Yeah, I went to, I was studying business, and I finished my last semester in Madrid. So I was there for 6 months.
Oh, nice. Okay.
Yeah.
And so talking a little bit more about the band, you said you started it about a couple months ago?
Yeah.
Yeah, more or less. We don't have a date, but yeah, we started working in the song maybe a little bit longer than that, like 3 or 4 months ago.
Yeah.
And we had a few ideas before that. But yeah, officially we'll say like 3 or 4 months ago, 2020,
Nice.
beginning.
Okay. And how did you come up with the name Monta Lio?
No, sorry.
Baby name generator.
Really?
No, we were what did we have originally? Originally we just went for your standard Pat, just jumbling letters around Pat and Nando, and we came up with Pando, and we were like, it sounds a bit like Panda.
Yeah.
So sounds a bit, childish. So we just kept looking, and I don't know. I think I came to Fernando a week later with Leo, and then we were just honestly just jumbling words around for something, just looking for something sort of catchy. And then Monta Lio popped up, and Fernando was like, "Oh yeah, that actually means something."
Well, for the people who don't speak Spanish, would you like to explain what it means?
Yeah, I think the translation will be make a mess, right? Or yeah, like make a mess, like, but in the sense of a party, like we say that in Spain when you go out with your friends or you go to a bar and having some drinks and you want to be a little bit nasty, you say vamos a montar el lío, and that, and like yeah, making a mess, but in a good way in terms of party and having fun.
Did you say stir the pot?
It's okay.
Stir the pot, like cause a bit of a ruckus, go a bit wild.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, and we wanted something that people, English speakers, they could pronounce somehow.
Yeah.
Like Monta Lio is not.
Yeah, it's not too far off.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh, that's perfect. I like it.
Yeah. Oh, thanks.
Well, going back to your abroad experiences, so maybe we'll do this one at a time. Pat, can you tell us what drew you to Spain and then what your experience was like there?
it was honestly, as soon as I started learning, so I was doing business, and I knew I wanted to do music, you know, after I'd finished business. Yeah, but even before I started, and business degree was getting really dry, so I had a spare sub major and I took Spanish just for fun. I honestly don't even remember why. I was like, yeah, this will be a good time. This will freshen up the degree a bit. And literally first class, I loved it. Honestly, never loved a class that much before. And yeah, and I think a year and a half later of studying it, I went and did my degree there, finished my degree there.
Awesome.
So, yeah.
And did that help spice up the degree a bit for you? Definitely. Yeah. Well, yeah, I got to go live in Spain. It was. I don't know if did I meet you after or before?
Before going to Spain?
Yeah,
before.
Yeah, I met Fernando maybe like halfway through learning, and like the second semester or something that I was learning Spanish. And then, he, I don't know, he kind of was talking about Spain all the time. Just kept getting more keener and keener.
Nice. And so then I'm a little bit curious, why Madrid if you had somebody from Barcelona telling you about Barcelona?
Yeah, because I didn't like Fernando's accent, and I was I think even Fernando was. I think you were like, I had a mate go over 6 months before me, and we essentially did a swap. So while I was coming into Madrid, he was leaving, and I'd been looking at a place where I could learn the most neutral Spanish, because I knew there were other dialects and other accents from, had I learned Spanish in the South, I wouldn't.
You're not gonna understand.
I would. Well, no one would understand me, but I wouldn't finish my words. Cut my words off. Yeah, I just wanted I wanted a common ground of Spanish that was versatile for all kind of dialogues and all areas of Spanish speaker territory.
Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
And then what would you say is the biggest thing you learned from your experience living abroad and living in Spain?
Thing I learned. Oh, wow. Are you saying that we are the best? I don't know. That's a hard question. Biggest thing I learned. Just how to be independent, really. I kind of got used to, and then I came back to my family home in Sydney, and it felt so strange just coming back and living with people. I was just used to. I spent so much time by myself. Not that I didn't have any friends over there, but it was easing into it was hard. I didn't know anyone over there, and I had it probably took me about 2 months to actually start, doing things with other people and stuff, because it was a bit daunting, to be honest. Very daunting.
It's a process. No, I can definitely relate to that.
Yeah. I think that was the biggest thing, living alone, because I'd never done that before, and this was like maybe 3 years ago.
That's incredible to do it for the first time while living abroad.
Yeah, it was good. It was like some of the best months of my life so far.
Nice. Well, good for you. I love it.
Yeah.
And going over to Fernando, what drew you to Australia, and what has your experience been like?
I don't really know. I came just to visit a friend for 3 months. The friend that introduced me to Pat, and then I met him back in the day in Spain, and we were surfing together in north of Spain, and we kept the contact for actually a year after. And I decided to come to Australia. I always wanted to come. I love surfing, and it was a place that I always wanted to go. I had some time. I had no job, and I came here for 3 months, and it's been 6 years. So
Wow.
yeah, that was like, yeah, I didn't think like long term, or I didn't plan to be here. I was just literally traveling for 3 months. My friend lived in Sydney. I didn't have much idea of Sydney, and I was like, yeah, sounds good to me, and here I am.
That's incredible. What do your friends and family back in Barcelona think?
I've been always saying that I'm coming back next year. Like, it's been 6 years. I'm like, yeah, next year I'll come back. Next year I'll come back. And I think now they are not thinking. They don't think that I'm coming back. But no, I mean, yeah, I'm pretty sure they are not very happy. But I got lucky, and for the first time, during the last Christmas, my family came to visit, and they could see the way I lived here, and now they understand what I've been here for 6 years. So that was like a relief for me, showing them my way of life here, my friends, where I live, and they were like, okay, that makes a lot of sense. Spain is like a really nice country, and Barcelona, a nice city, but Australia and Sydney is not too bad either.
Mm-hmm. I can relate to that. The same thing happened when my parents came to Granada. I feel like they were finally able to understand the lifestyle I had and why I loved it so much.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's important, as I said, it's really important.
For sure. And Fernando, for you, what's the biggest thing you've learned so far from your time abroad in Australia?
Well, Australians like to drink a lot, way more than Spanish people. And they celebrate everything drinking beer. And I think in Spain we drink more alcohol. Like, but here they just drink until they get wasted.
Oh, man.
Yeah, you did it.
Oh, mate.
No, it's another culture. I think when you live abroad, you're learning every day. I guess the biggest learn is about yourself. You learn about yourself. You're in a completely different culture. In my case, or in most of the cases, in a different language, and you just need to survive and make friends, and you learn parts of your personality that you wouldn't even develop in your country or in your comfort circle. So when you live abroad, for me, it's just, every day at work, making friends, in the shops. It's so different to Spain. So I got to learn a lot about myself, and I think that's the most important thing.
For sure. All right. Well, going back to Pat, how did you learn Spanish? Was it all through the university courses?
Pat and Fernando, basically. Honestly, so before going over to Madrid, I thought I had a pretty good understanding, a pretty good foundation of everything. It was pretty beneficial learning, doing all the groundwork and learning the grammar, studying the grammar word for word and tense by tense, and then having that to go over, I felt really and then speaking with Fernando all the time, I felt really confident about just jumping straight, going over there and being like, sweet, I can have a conversation. And then I remember the first time I spoke in Spain, I literally, all my teachers were South American, and obviously it's a different way of.
In Spain there was
no. All my teachers in Sydney were South American, and so I was learning number one, a very formal way, and number two, the South American way of saying things. Because you guys do a lot of differences, and yeah, I just remember walking into a bar, and the first thing the bartender says is "Que te pongo," and I was like, "What?" I was expecting "Que vas a tomar," and I knew nothing else. That didn't make sense. I couldn't sum that up. "Que te pongo" in my head. I was like, "What you. I'm like, what? And I don't know what this guy's saying. And I remember my stomach, you know, because it was after a year and a half. You know, my confidence went from this to my stomach just dropped. And yeah, I moved in with an American guy, a Mexican girl, and a Spanish guy. And I spent a lot of time just listening to the Spanish guy with his friends. He was always in the living room. Yeah, the speed was one thing that was so hard to get used to, but just watching the TV, and I think it took me literally about 3 months to just not have to focus and just understand it without, you know, paying attention to every word or so. Yeah,
that's still pretty good. And that's impressive.
Oh, thanks. Yeah, but I was really like in and out of class when I was learning. I just loved it. It's just a passion of mine, and I didn't see it as a chore and to go do homework. I'd actually use my free time to go and study it, which was helpful.
Nice. And so what made you want to sing in Spanish? Because this is a little bit different.
Yeah, I got to go. Because I don't know how to sing. Because I'm a really bad singer, so we have no other option.
No, it's something I've always wanted to do since starting to learn Spanish, was write a song and end up singing stuff in Spanish. And Fernando and I wrote that. Yeah, we wrote the tune, and then we were like, well, who's gonna sing it? And yeah, it just I've been singing for like a few years now, and yeah, I don't think you've been.
No, I've never been singing. I've been playing music, guitar and bass for a lot of years, but I've never been good at singing. So I was like, I might try it once we get this song going, but I know Pat sings much better than me, and my problem was like, well, he needs to sound Spanish. We don't want to sing with, and his Spanish is really good, but the way of singing in Spanish is completely different. The accent and the way you pronounce the words, sometimes you change it compared to the way you talk. So for him, it was like a completely different experience. Yeah. And for me, it's much easier singing in Spanish. But
yeah, Fernando was, while we were recording, Fernando was actually coaching me phrase by phrase, because like you said, the stress, even if there is a part of the word that where the stress should land or the accent should land, it changes in Spanish. Just by like rule of thumb with songwriting, which was hard to get a grip of, because you spent all this time learning where to put the stress, and then you have to now sing a melody to it and change the whole word.
Never thought of that.
Yeah, it's odd.
So in that sense, is it much harder for you to sing in Spanish than to speak, or how would you compare the two?
Yeah, it's definitely hard. Well, what I think sounds all right, apparently Fernando, apparently it's not the, listening to more Spanish stuff, I'm realizing that you can be a bit more creative with it. You don't, I'm thinking of all where the accent should lie, more of singing in English. Do you know what I mean? Where I think it's a much more technical.
Yeah, and that is specific style of music, which is, we call it rumba flamenca, or flamenco fusion, or whatever you want to call it. It's got like a different accent, like if you, not accent, but way of singing, like if you were, for example, like singing rock or pop. So that flamenco is got more like a street voice, like a little bit different intonation and melody. So obviously Pat has been working in music for so many years, but he's never been working on that type of music, which I did back in my days in Spain. I was playing in a few bands in that style. So for me, I'm much more familiar with that type of singing and music. And for Pat, it was something completely new.
Okay. And so how would you describe your musical style? What genre do you fall into?
Yeah.
Flamenco.
No, it's not flamenco. It's not flamenco.
But it's rumba.
It's rumba. It's clearly rumba. If you show the song to any Spanish person, they will tell you that it's like rumba flamenca or rumba pop. But the basic style is rumba catalana.
But I definitely think there's a lot of pop.
Yeah, exactly.
Elements and
rumba australiana.
Yeah, that's what we're calling it.
I like it.
Yeah, a lot of pop influence as well.
But that's cool that you're putting your own spin on it. I think that's what makes it unique and modern as well.
Yeah, I think the fact that we don't know what we're doing is giving it its unique spin, and we'll just roll with that. We'll just claim that from now on.
It's a really interesting mix. I mean, not many bands. Sometimes I speak in Spanish and he answers in English. Sometimes we talk in English, sometimes we talk in Spanish. It's that mix of influences, like my Spanish music background with this more like Australian or English music background. So that mix, I don't know, I think it works.
Definitely. That's really cool. So what is the process like? I mean, you're mentioning the different languages you speak and how you've kind of helped Pat with every line as you go. What is it like when you're writing your songs and then when you're producing them?
Well, you started the lyrics.
Yeah, I had an idea. Usually, in terms of the music, I had an idea.
I'm used to it.
She's very far away.
Yeah.
In terms of the music, I had an idea, Pat had an idea, and then we kind of put it together. We started playing that type of style that I'm familiar with. And in terms of the lyrics, I had an idea of the composition, what I wanted to talk about, and then we basically wrote it together, I would say. I probably had a little bit more input because obviously it's in my language, but we wrote the song literally together, I would say.
I think it was cool. We jammed. I think we played over some melodies and had the verse and chorus melody all figured out. And then Fernando went home and nutted out the main concept and topic of the song, which was
like revisiting like a lot of heartbreaking song.
Bittersweet. Didn't you say bittersweet emotions?
Bittersweet, yeah. Emociones Encontradas, bittersweet emotions when you run into someone that, you felt something, but at the same time you're happy where you are. So it's mixed emotions, and then at the end, you just realize that you're happy where you are.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay, so talking specifically about your first song, I know that's a bit of the background. Do you have any specific inspiration or a reason that you started with this song?
No, I guess it's about experiences in life, and it's just like your past experience in love, and sometimes I think the best songs in my opinion in the history of music, they come from situations that they are not very comfortable within, like yourself or your past relationships. So that was about it. Like, to be honest, like some parts of the songs, they don't make much sense, but the general idea is that running into that person that that you had some emotions back in the day, but then you're thinking that you're happy to see that person, but at the same time sad, and then you just realize at the end of the song it's just a party saying that you are much more happy where you are with your life at the moment. So
I think it's like coming to terms with being content and not regretting your decision, of maybe getting back with that person or anything, but being content with yourself and your direction that you're on, your path that you're on now, and kind of putting that all behind you and like feeling good about it, rather than it's a sense of closure,
Mm.
I guess, towards the end. When it hits that end section of where it goes more upbeat and less moody and more happy and just party, it's that sense of closure and just, getting on with it.
Sure. Oh, it's nice. I like that there's that progression, kind of like an arc throughout the song.
Fernando put the lines at the end of the song. I had to ask him what they meant, but the first line is, it has being without you throughout that end section, which is the chant. And then the first line is, now I have more space in the fridge. It's true.
Yeah.
So I think that was the humor behind it, that they were not profound lyrics, but they were pretty insignificant things in terms of the song being deep. But that's what made them funny. We wanted to put a bit of humor into the song.
Definitely. Oh,
Yeah.
Very nice. And do you guys have plans for the future? Any other songs in the works?
Yeah, we're gonna be touring the world soon. No. No,
You should.
If you get us a gig in Granada, we'll go there tomorrow. Like even swimming.
Yeah.
That'd be awesome.
We have like a couple of songs that we are working at the moment or in the pipeline. We wanna pipeline. In the pipeline, isn't it true?
Pipeline, yeah.
That's what I say at work.
Yeah, pipeline.
In the pipeline. I'm learning always words with him, and he's learning words with me in Spanish.
Yeah, English.
Yeah. In the pipeline, we have a few songs. Now, we're working on a new song, and the idea, I think, we don't have any long-term ideas, but we want to just keep releasing a few songs, and let's see what if people like them, we'll keep releasing songs, and probably start making a couple gigs, maybe, in Sydney.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And where can everybody find your music?
Spotify. It's on all the normal social media platforms. We're yet to make a Facebook, which we'll do ASAP. But the Instagram, Monta Lio, it's monta.lio, and Spotify is just Monta Lio.
Perfect.
It's all the same.
Yeah, well, we'll be sure to link to that as well in the blog post.
Awesome.
Great. Well, anything else you'd like to share before we wrap up?
I want to say hello to my mom. She's watching now from home.
Aww. Hola, mamá.
It's in Spanish.
Hola, mamá, te quiero mucho, te echo de menos. ¿Y el butano? Is the butano guy coming or not?
I guess not. He's usually very early on Saturday mornings, but doesn't seem like he's coming today.
And do you and Claudia speak Spanish?
We do, yeah. Between ourselves, we almost always speak in English because it's both of our first languages, being from the US. But with our other friends and just in the outside world in general, we'll speak Spanish.
And what do you do for work over there?
So I've worked mostly as an English teacher, but recently I've transitioned to being a writer.
Oh, awesome. That's so cool.
No song lyrics, but just like stories and stuff like that on top of the blog.
Well, if you think of any stories, maybe we can turn them into a song.
Oh, that could be interesting. I'll let you know.
We'll just follow the blog.
Perfect. Yeah, for sure. Well, thank you guys so much for doing this. It was a lot of fun.
Thanks for having us, Daddy.